Man, let me tell you something, Rico. I got some blunt truth for you guys. Are you guys ready for this? Because no significant changes for federal employees if the Biden administration reclassifies marijuana, you guys. This basically says that basically everyone that's a federal employee is still in the same boat that they were already in. The Biden administration and Congress are both taking steps to reclassify marijuana as a less dangerous drug. But the blunt truth is that these efforts would have a much less of an impact on federal workforce compared to the general U.S. public. The Associated Press reported on Tuesday that the DEA is preparing to downgrade cannabis from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug under the Controlled Substances Act. The decision, according to the AP's reporting, still requires review from the Office and Management of Budget. If approved by the OMB, the DEA would also gather public feedback before finalizing its decision. The Department of Health and Human Services last August recommended the DEA reclassify cannabis to a Schedule 3 drug. And in quotes, DOJ is looking into that. They're moving with that process, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told the reporters on Wednesday. Ryan Nerney, managing partner of the Ladera Ranch, California office at the law firm Tully Brinkley, told Federal News Network moving cannabis from a Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 could potentially have some impact on pre-employment screening and drug testing of candidates applying for federal government positions. In a quote, Schedule 1 through Schedule 3, it's still technically considered a controlled substance. It would be more akin to somebody misusing prescription drugs. Obviously, at least in some circumstances, you can't appear at work under the influence of something without a prescription, or you obviously can't appear at work under the influence of alcohol or anything like that, Nerney said on Wednesday. Prior marijuana use wouldn't be an automatic disqualifier from federal employment like other Schedule 1 drugs, including LSD and ecstasy. But Nerney said agencies would still keep strict rules about marijuana use. In quotes, it would still be along the lines of federally illegal, and anything that's federally illegal, it doesn't even matter if someone's employed in California or Colorado because it's a federal security clearance. That is still a concern, he said. Nerney said a history of marijuana use especially will still have significant impact on security clearance holders because it would still be illegal on a federal level. Around the edges, there could be some changes, but ultimately it's still part of the Controlled Substances Act. So until they actually take action to decriminalize and take it 100% off of the CSA, which would mean descheduling, really there is nothing going to be significant changes to the federal employee process, security clearance process, anything like that, he added. Following the Biden administration's action, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, this was Rico's story right there, talking about them reintroducing the CAOA and stealing all the limelight and air trying to out of the room. And they say that this legislation, according to a fact sheet from when the bill was first introduced in 2022, removes unnecessary federal employee pre-employment and random drug testing for cannabis. The bill, however, would keep drug testing in place for certain categories of federal employees in national security, law enforcement, and commercial transportation. And a staff member in Wyden's office confirmed these provisions impacting federal employees remain in the reintroduced bill. However, the staffer added that it remains unclear what implications, if any, the Biden administration's reclassification of cannabis would have on federal employees. And currently, federal regulations and a 1986 Reagan administration executive order directs the heads of federal agencies to implement drug testing programs for federal employees, including testing for cannabis. And Schumer said at a press conference on Wednesday that the bill would expunge the criminal records of many Americans with low-level marijuana offenses that haunt them and inhibit them for decades, preventing them from getting good jobs and leading good, strong lives, he said. Getting caught with a little bit of marijuana for you to get saddled with a serious criminal record that prevented the person from getting a good job, buying a good home, getting ahead in life, Schumer said. The bill, however, allows drug testing for marijuana to continue for federal law enforcement officers or federal employees determined to have significant involvement in national security, the protection of life and property, public health, and safety. And Booker applauded the Biden administration efforts to reclassify marijuana. In a quote, he said, said, I think it's a great step that the Biden administration is moving in the direction of not making this a Schedule I drug. And the absurdity of that is outrageous, he said. But honestly, the bill we are introducing today is the solution to this long, agonizing, hypocritical, frankly, unequally enforced set of bad laws. Well, Mr. Senator Cory Booker, I have to say this to you. When it goes to Schedule 3, that's going to knock out every single social equity applicant that has ever applied for a license and their ability to maintain their license. And so I want to know, since you grandstanded on safe banking a while ago saying that it was unjust and all this and that, why aren't you doing the same for all of the social justice licensee holders that will be disqualified when it moves to Schedule 3? And I'm going to rest my case on that. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. This is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News Hour. What do y'all think?
Thank you very much. Even up the very end of it and how you just called them the biggest hypocrite ever. Mm-hmm. These people understand that when they make it a Schedule 3, that basically, essentially, they didn't do anything but give pharmaceutical companies carte blanche to start. Yeah, just to have control. Like, this is what it is. This is them essentially stealing the last bit of happiness and joy that we have. God bless the trap.
I'll just say this: if it wasn't a mids market before, it's definitely going to be a mids market after Schedule 3.
Facts.
Mm-hmm. Any thoughts, Rico? Stone's getting into his carrot.
I love Stone so much.
Stone's getting into his carrot.
I'm pushing 3.
You're pushing 3.
I think it's sad. Everybody that brings up, the benefits of it, they all fail to bring up the potential bad shit that it could bring.
The benefits don't outweigh the bad. They don't even come close. The only good benefit that I've seen is they're talking about it's going to eliminate 280E. That's the only benefit that I see that Schedule 3 brings at all to the table at all, period. And
you have a license.
Yeah, but
you get a license, 280 is important. But for everybody else who doesn't have a dispensing license through the DEA, I mean, you don't get any relief from anything.
Dale, my point is that Schedule 3 isn't going to open up any new markets. There's a lot of people that think, oh, we're going to be able to have it in my state now all of a sudden now that it goes to Schedule 3, and that's not reality. These people are living in a fantasy world.
Well, we've got 5 decades of every state and the United States government infiltrating drug laws into so many laws, so many administrative rules and regulations. To think that you're going to pass one law and all this is going to be fixed is, mushrooms should do that much for you. That's bullshit. It's bad thinking. It's not going to happen. And as long as you stay within the Controlled Substances Act, there's going to be problems here. And cops still being tested for weed. When does a cop get to go home, smoke a blunt, like he used to be able to go home and down a 6-pack, and the next day go to work and not have someone fire him for that? I mean, that's stupid.
So
cops need breaks from shit too.
I mean, if you're not in New York.
Oh boy! So at least
let the cop hit the vape.
So there's two comments in here. There's 2 comments I want to share with you guys.
Remember when everything was during COVID and the protests? They had those videos come out of cops smoking weed in the streets in New York.
Vermont Alternative Willie, he says the only people excited about these are those who can afford to have a full-time pharmacist at their dispensary, because Schedule 3 drugs do have to be administered through a pharmacist, which is going to present a whole another host of issues for retailers going forward. And Nick Bradley says in the chat, he says the minimum for Schedule 1 trafficking is 15 years. The maximum for Schedule 3 trafficking is 10 years. So people are still going to be going to jail, is basically the synopsis on this. Like it ain't gonna stop. This is just the drug war 2.0 reinvigorated with a whole new way for them to get around Rohrabacher Farr, which is now Blumenauer McClintock.
Yeah.
There's no magic answer here.
You still got that carrot? You still got that carrot, Stone? You got
that carrot? You got the little dangly. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah.
Rascally wabbits.
Mm-hmm. How come you cut the top off? You don't like green? He doesn't like green?
It's circumcised.
Bro,
Oh,
I caught that carrot. I was fast enough.
You
know
was
what I'm
fast
saying?
enough. Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There is one other point in regards to this that I think that a lot of people aren't recognizing is that once it goes to a Schedule 3, what are all these local municipalities going to do with all of the tax revenue? Because I don't think that they can tax a Schedule 3 drug the same way that they are taxing it as an adult use commodity product.
What are they going to do?
What they going to do when their revenues run all dry?
The same
That's another thing too, is that there is no adult use Schedule 3 product besides the new one that's coming in. So like, there's so much shit they haven't addressed of how they're going to handle it, and that's what I want somebody to do. Stop coming on and tell me this is all the good shit that's going to be. Let's talk about the potential bad shit, and let's put everybody's minds at rest and let us know: is this going to have to go through a fucking pharmacy? Is this, what are we going to do here? Is this going to screw the social equity people who can't apply for DEA licenses? Like, what are we doing?
It's going to screw them all, Stone. You know that. And all that.